Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice, at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
And by airs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at airs.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles with flexible solutions and financing. On the web at intlauto.com.
Become a global player in your field.
Cross Culture to Go provides virtual support for your global business and career success.
We can help you thrive in 140 plus countries and markets.
On the web at crossculturetogo.com.
This is Ed Cohen on Global TV Talk Show, and I'm in San Diego, and honored to have as our special guest from London area, Andrew Elliman, who's head of global business with AGS, based in London. So global business for Europe, right? Or,
that's right, yes.
Or EMEA, which is it?
For Europe,
Europe. Well, thank you for being on again, Andy. And tell us about, are you locked down, or are you able to get out and about?
Yeah, so I know last time we spoke, I was in a total lockdown and we couldn't really do too much. But here in the UK now, because we've had a lot of the jabs, it's over 35 million, I think, have had their jabs now. Yeah. So the restrictions have come a lot less. So we are allowed to now, you can't go out without more than 6 people. So it has to be 6 people maximum. But at the same time, 2 families can get together as well. So pubs are open, but you have to sit in the garden. So this being England, we have to sit with big raincoats on and warm jackets just to have a pint of beer. But yeah, it's the shops are open again now, so it's slowly getting back to some kind of more interaction with others. But most people are still working from home. I'm still working from home most of the days, and but it's good. I mean, we're hoping to see the rest of the world to start get moving as well, like everyone else is. And we really feel for those, like especially the people in India at the moment, what they're going through.
It's awful. Isn't it terrible?
So we really wish them well and hope they get all the support that they need from the rest of the world as well at the same time.
So this is an executive moment, if you will, just to get a brief insight in very busy schedule that you have. It's the end of your day. It's the beginning of our day here in California, and where Paul is in Las Vegas. Speaking about being in the desert sun, he's right there. Okay, but here we're in May gray of San Diego. We have the low-hanging clouds and moisture right along the Pacific Ocean here. Okay, Andy, are companies looking to relocate staff? Is all these all these orders still going to go through, or are they?
Yeah,
you think some are going to fall out?
It's an interesting one, Ed. A lot of companies we're talking to now, they've got to a stage now where they've kept their people back, rightly so, and haven't moved people for quite some time, over a year. They're now getting to a stage where it's becoming more of a necessity because the business needs it to happen. So there is an uptake, a slight uptake, not a huge one, but there is an uptake of more people getting ready to move. We have lots of orders in, as in, like, we've done surveys, the moves are ready to happen, but they just still haven't happened, a lot of them, because companies are still a little bit cautious on the corporate side. On the other side, we do lots of governmental and military work, etc., and that's always been busy right the way through. People are still had to move, so things have been moving. And I think as the AGSGroup, because we're quite diverse in the services that we provide, we've been able to keep going right the way through this whole pandemic, which is quite remarkable. We're in 97 countries, so it's quite a remarkable story from our group to be able to support our clients on the ground in location.
Thank you for sharing that. What are some of the services that you've just described briefly that they support the customer, of course, but what are these services that are ongoing?
Okay, so obviously you know us probably more on the moving side as an international mover.
Yeah,
that's still happening in areas where we can. We follow government guidelines to make sure we provide those services. We also provide relocation services, so the destination service providing in certain areas as well to support our clients. So that's one spectrum. But we also, what people don't realize is we have a records management side as well. We do archiving of files, and we do office moving as well. So because we're able to do that in location, and because we have wholly owned offices on the ground in locations, it means we can be quite diverse in the way we work locally as well as internationally. Which is really, we saw a big upturn in office moving whilst this whole pandemic went on. If you imagine, most people were at home, so companies that still had money, they still had money to refurb their offices or make the movements. They did it in between lockdown, so that kept us busy from that perspective. But archiving has been huge for us. We're still growing the business. We grow from strength to strength with the services that we're providing, and that really makes us quite different in a way that we're not specializing just in one area. But also we're talking to our clients, understanding them, what are they going through, and like you said when you started this conversation, what's this sort of feel from the corporates at the moment, and no one's got any sort of magic wand to say what's going to happen, but we have noticed certain sections of different businesses are starting to get busier. Oil companies have kept quite busy as well, so there's a whole different area of business that's still there, and it's still happening. And then also we've been helping local authorities just to try and help where we can in areas where they're not so fortunate enough as we are. So we've been involved with lots of different projects that is just a really humanitarian side of it to help local businesses. So
today is May 6, 2021. So give us a quick look from your view about Brexit and what's different now than 6 months ago.
So it's interesting. There's all different views, and this is just my view. So what I'm going to tell you, right? So obviously, there was a huge at the beginning of the year. There was huge customs side of it. Obviously a lot more documentation to do. Immigration companies, for them, they must have been the busiest going that they've ever been. But on the other side of it, we've seen obviously there's still companies leaving the UK for sure. Group moves are starting to happen. We're starting to see those being planned still now, getting ready for when everything opens again and you can move across borders. But having said that, we've seen a lot of uptake on, say, American companies that are looking to come into the UK, Asian companies looking to come into the UK. So there is another balance, if you like, of what's happening in the market. And it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I think it's too early to make any real judgment calls because, it happened in the middle of a pandemic. So it's not like you can judge it by one or the other. In the pandemic, hardly anyone's moving. So companies are still a little bit dubious of what they need to do as such. The other other side of this is a lot of companies we spoke to who, you know, at first we thought were going to leave the UK and go in somewhere in Europe. What we found is they've sent departments of, say, 20 to 30 people across into Europe to keep a foot within the EU. They didn't send the whole company. So, you know, it's interesting to see that that's still there. That may change in the next year or so. I think we need to keep an eye on what's happening and, you know, see how it all pans out. But at the moment, because of the pandemic, I think it's thrown a different spin on the whole way that this was always looking to be.
Yeah,
and so
well,
people
thank you for that.
are holding on to that.
Yeah. So now I want to shift gears here. So when are you going to swim the English Channel?
So this has been, as you know, this has been one of the toughest things I ever thought. Again, the pandemic got in the way. You know, last year I was meant to swim the channel in September. I'd spent 2 years learning to swim because I couldn't swim at the age of 48. I took lessons, and you know my story. But in September, the rules from the COVID rules meant that I couldn't have my support team that I wanted on the boat. If you imagine, I've got a camera crew, I've got support swimmers, everyone. And of course, the rule was you couldn't have more than 3 people in one area. And of course, I've got like 9 people that I need on the boat just for me to swim the channel. So it was all getting a bit too much. So I decided to move it to this year. So I'm doing it in September this year. The training has been very difficult because come December, we went into full lockdown again, which meant all the pools shut. And it was horrendous weather throughout the winter. So I was still swimming in a lake with no wetsuit in the first week of December. I think it was 8-9 degrees in the water. But then it all stopped for me. So from sort of the second week of December, I only got back into the water 4 weeks ago. So you lose a lot of your training, what you've been training for. So I'm back into that now. And actually I'm doing every morning, 6 a.m. I'm in the pool. And in the evenings, I'm in the river. And again, I'm swimming in skin, they call it skins without a wetsuit. So I'm doing that at the moment and slowly increasing what I need to do. And next month, early next month, I've got my 6-hour qualifier that I've got to do in the channel. So if I don't do the 6-hour qualifier, then I can't swim the channel in September. So I need to pass that. I need to get through that. Yeah.
So you are a glutton for punishment here, but it's actually really impressive, and I wish you well. So what is the driver here? It's a charity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. I gave a talk this morning at a online conference as well, and it was all about drive. What drives you to do this? And I think because of my role, plus in work, you know, in work I'm in business development, you know, and so you have to have a drive every day to get up and do what you do. Otherwise, you're not a business developer. But at the same time, I do that with my personal life. So I need a challenge every time. You know, I've done the Everest highest dinner party in the world, the world record, etc. After that, I was looking for something different. And I believe you should always face your fear. And my fear was being in water, you know, being out of depth in water. You know, I had this idea to swim the channel and raise money for my chosen charities, which is Community Action Nepal and also Keach Hospice Care. But at the same time, I thought, well, if I'm swimming the seas, I need to put something back. It's gratitude. You need to put something back. And so I now also campaigning for ocean plastic as well, to, you know, make people aware of the amount of plastic that's in the oceans. And I'm actually working with a few companies at the moment. Got some big sponsor names that I'll be announcing very soon as well. And it's great. It's just a great way to put things back. But me, I just need these challenges. I mean, I'm already getting prepared for the next challenge after this and the next one after that. So yeah, as long as I can travel, I'll be doing some very strange ones in the future as well.
Something that's really neat is that the Bridge School partners with various organizations to provide learning for their students. For example, we partner with a major ballet company, and we are able to enroll several of their students into our school. So now not only is the student able to participate in a school and have a seamless transition while they're very active in their ballet career, but now they have other dancers that are with them that are doing some of the same courses. So it's almost becoming a camaraderie where they're taking similar courses, they're working together on their ballet, and really being able to form this great partnership with these organizations to provide a needed service. A lot of times there are student athletes who will spend hours and hours at the gym or at the basketball courts, wherever it is. And if they're attending a traditional school, they're in school from 8 to 3. They get a quick snack, and then they're at the gym for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Coming to us and having that partnership, they're able to break that up throughout the day. They can have a morning practice, get some schooling in, have an afternoon practice, finish their schooling in the evening. So there's that flexibility. And additionally, if there are tournaments or performances, it's fantastic because if there's a week where they have shows straight through, they can take that week off of learning and then pick back up when they're done. So it offers this great flexibility. And for the program owners of these sports leagues, it is a win-win situation for them because they see this need. They see this need that their students need to make sure that they are obtaining the grades necessary to be successful adults in our country and in other countries. But it provides them an environment where they can be successful at both.
So how do you keep healthy?
Well, I'm not the healthiest person. This is what I say to people. If you look at me, when I tell people I'm doing these challenges, they look me up and down and they're like, really, you? Like, but you have to watch what you eat to a degree. But if I'm honest, I still like my food. So I haven't really given up much that side. But you do have to put the time in. So for me, at the moment, it's all about swimming. So for swimming, I need to be in the pool at 6 a.m. in the morning because I do have a day job. So I get up at 5, I'm in the pool by 6, I'm out by 7, and by 6:30, I'm back home, setting up ready for work for the day. In the evening, I need to go either to the gym or swim up the river and put the time in there as well. And then the weekends, I need to put 3-4 hours in, to get myself ready. I'm not someone that, if I haven't got a challenge, I will sit on the sofa and not do anything. So I'm nowhere near an athlete or anything like that. I need to have a challenge really, because I'm supposed to keep me in some kind of good condition. But I think, I train for what the challenge is. So when I did Everest, I trained for the challenge. I trained for altitude. I trained for climbing. I trained for standing in the cold and all this lot. So, and this one, I'm now training to be swimming across the sea from England to France. The things I got to prepare for is hypothermia is one of the biggest things that will stop you doing the swim. It's going to be around about 9 to 14 degrees the sea, and I'm going to do it in normal swimming trunks I've got no suit on when I swim, and I'll do it through the night. It's going to take me, I reckon, about 24 hours if I'm honest, because I'm not the fastest swimmer.
Wait, unfortunately, our baby is fortunate that we only have about 2 minutes here. But yeah. Why do you want to swim in just trunks with all that junk in the water?
I know. Well, actually, it's not an option. It's part of the Swimming Channel Society.
They're crazy.
Yeah, and it goes back to the guy that did it first. He did it in a pair of swimming, well, not in swim trunks. He was in like a pair of Speedos, like, and they've kept this rule, and they won't acknowledge you swimming across unless you do it in that way. So you wear you put your Speedos on, you put a cap on, you have two fluorescent lights that are attached to your arms, and then you cover yourself completely in some kind of grease, like, or fat, to try and keep you warm while you swim, and hopefully it doesn't all come off by the time you get halfway across. So yeah, that's just the rules. I mean, if I could do it in a wetsuit, believe me, I would do it in a wetsuit. Like,
I was just thinking that you might want to wrap yourself in Gardol or something that they keep the fish. Maybe. I mean, keep the fish away from sniffing.
Well, the biggest things is hypothermia. Jellyfish is a huge thing that gets, you know, if you swim into a shoal of jellyfish, you're going to get stung. You either go through the pain or you get out. I mean, that's the only options. You got the current, you got the salt water. You will be sick. You will be ill doing this. It's not pretty by any means. You know, it's not a gentle swim across. You've got the currents to deal with, and the physical side of it, and the weather. So when you combine all of that, they say more people have climbed to the summit of Everest than swum the English Channel, and that was the hook for me. I like a challenge, like, so it was like, I'll go for that.
Well, thank you so much for this executive moment here and this wonderful insight that you're providing to.
No, thank you for allowing me on the show.
People who are chickens like me. You're an inspiration, Andy Elliman. How can people reach you?
Okay, so I do have a website for the swim. It's www.englishchannelswim20-21.info. So, you know, you can have a look on that, or you can find me on LinkedIn. There'll be plenty of links to that. My name's quite unique, so there's not many Andrew Ellimans in the world. I think I've only ever found one. So you will find me quite quickly on the media sites.
Thanks for being on Global TV. You're an inspiration, and good luck.
No, thanks for having me on as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. This is Ed signing off in San Diego, Andy Elliman in the UK. Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.